Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Road to the Rail, the premier source for information for the 2020 Race for the Rail World Championships. I got myself, Adam Laser here, co-host Ted Rosser, other co-host Jack Mudd, and our host today, our co-host,
Assistant to the co-host.
assistant to the co-host, Kate Vlachos.
How's it going, everybody? So, let's start. Basically, a lot of people probably don't even know what Race to the Rail is. Can you give us like a brief overview of the format and what it is?
Wow, what a doozy. Well, I think we'll start with this. It's the Super Bowl. It's the gosh darn Super Bowl. The Race to the Rail is biggest one-wheel race on Earth. Its origin is to crown the champion, the best one-wheeler rider that there is on planet Earth, which a few years ago wasn't that big of a deal. Nowadays, it's starting to become a bit of a thing. So
it's a loaded title to carry.
It's a hefty. You got the target on your back. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Ted, you were in the commentator booth last year, providing color for the race. What's the format like?
Well, it starts with the top riders. We narrowed down to time trials, and it's a border cross style race. Typically, you start at the top of the mountain, first one down.
Yep.
Is the winner.
Yep.
We see a lot of competition and a lot of upsets last year. And Race to the Rail really takes all of the skills needed to prove that you are the number one rider.
Totally.
And boils it down into one run.
Totally. Usually a bit off-road, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's like, if you're riding some trails or a fire road or whatever is in your backyard,
Yeah.
and you feel like you're going fast, and you're like, man, I wonder, like, if I have my friends here. Sometimes you do, you're riding with your buddies, and you're like, who's in the lead? That's what it's designed for, So, yeah, usually off road, usually somewhat technical, but also has some speed.
You crank it up to 10.
Crank it up to 10. Yeah, and so we've traditionally ran like a bracket, right? So we took, I think last year maybe 12 or 16.
It was 16, I believe.
16 of the top
16.
riders
From time trials.
time trials. Race them in fours. Think of your, NCAA March Madness type bracket. So 4 riders, top 2 move on until you have the final 4. Which like last year was a pretty heavy hitting final 4.
Yeah. It was a great race.
Absolutely a great race. Champion is crowned. So last year, I think, what was the prize purse?
I believe the prize purse was 2,000. Was it
25?
2,500.
Something like that.
I know there's a cooler involved.
There's
a cooler. Last year we saw an epic evolutionary ascent to what Race for the Rail has become. In past years, we started off with a very small course. Jack will tell us quite an epic story about the first Race for the Rail. But as we look at the history for Race for the Rail, you can really see that this event has grown and really become the premier one-wheel event of the year. Jack, bring us back to the first Race for the Rail when you tell me stories of building ramps all night long and water features, and tell us about it.
Let me tell you this. I wouldn't have had to build ramps all night long if I got the date to the event right. So I got the date wrong to the GoPro Mountain Games. I thought I had a full build day to go show up and build ramps or whatever, and maybe we can cut in some of the footage of this too. This is back when you could like ride Onewheels on the airplane and stuff like that, which was awesome. Showed up, got there, realized that I had to have it done by tomorrow, landed in Denver at 5 p.m., rented the car, drove to the Home Depot in Avon, bought all the stuff in there, including floodlights from 8 to 9. Didn't have a place to build because we're staying in Vail. You can't just use power tools at 11 p.m. in Vail. So we waited for all the Home Depot employees to leave, and then we found a power outlet behind the Home Depot, plugged in there, and built stuff. Built little dinky little ramps.
That photo of you and Julian is like pretty good too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. We also like
iconic photo.
it was a doozy. But so it was just a sort of like a normal demo event like we used to do, and we just thought it'd be fun if we built ramps and we raced each other, and just because we wanted to see who is the fastest. and had a lot of fun with that. And all of a sudden, like, people came and started to watch, and so that was kind of the moment where it's like, maybe.
How many viewers did you get on that first race?
Yeah, how many people were out there in the crowd?
I mean, you can check the tape, but there's like 50, 50 people.
I think people want to watch like the spirit of competition, and when people are having fun,
Yeah.
You get a crowd.
Yeah.
So you can, that energy right there has been like synthesized down to like its purest form by bringing it into next year's race, which is
Totally.
twice as big, probably.
Totally, yeah. It's just grown and grown. I mean, as you or someone mentioned, we had a water feature first year, so certain things have been left behind, and certain things have been amplified.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it is mind blowing to go back and look at the first race, and like think about last year. Obviously we had a North Star, which is a trip, like
With the full live stream crew.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Now, bringing it back to 2019, which was such a historic year in the evolution of Race for the Rail. Cade, you were out there on the course yourself, doing part of the live stream, being the live cameraman, riding with the riders during the race. Even in the final race, you were having to move out of the way so riders could pass you. Tell us more about that experience.
And do you think you could beat them all?
I've always thought of myself as a fast rider. I've always thought like, I could compete with some of the world's best. But let me tell you, when they're on the line and there's money on the line, these people are cutthroat.
When Dom Williams is barreling down on you
Yeah,
like a pile of bricks.
There's a limit to how fast you could go and how fast you're willing to push it, but
they're going faster.
they're faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember coming to the bottom of the finish line with like a dirt mustache because there's so much dust kicking up at the top. It's truly amazing to see like what people are doing on these boards and like how technical the terrain they're riding at such speed.
Yeah.
I think
last year's course was
yeah.
That was
pretty challenging.
Brutal course.
Yeah,
Very
pretty
brutal
challenging.
course.
Also, not very forgiving. I mean, if I had to have an honest knock on last year's course, I think if you got a lead on that opening straightaway, it was very tough to be dethroned.
Yeah.
Like basically because it got so narrow.
Yeah, you're going from a fire road
yeah.
down to a single track, and then it opens back up to a fire road. So you have a very narrow margin to pass. And
what do they call that in racing? The opening, the whole shot.
The whole shot.
The whole
The whole
shot
shot
was
was
the first
incredibly important.
First one out.
Yeah.
And usually that gives you the lead for a majority of the race if you could keep it up. And that's what comes into play with Race for the Rail. You see the evolution, and now it's become not only the best one-wheel riders, but you have to really involve strategy.
Yeah,
in this.
Totally.
Yeah, I think there was a big bobble, if I recall correctly, in that
Huge.
final race that really threw off the whole dynamic of who went off first and who ended up coming across the finish line.
Tahoe Dave was ahead of Dom and then fell on
Yeah,
some corner and Dom passed him.
Yeah, so we talk about Tahoe Dave, 2018 Race for the Rail champion.
Yes, correct.
And then Dominic Williams, 15-year-old, 2019 Race for the Rail champion.
Right. In his rookie year.
In his rookie year.
Yep.
Can Jack and Ted, can you tell us a little bit more what it was like to watch Dominic from the booth and see the excitement during the live stream? I mean, he absolutely tore that course apart.
Yeah, he was I mean, Tahoe Dave was the guy who it seemed like maybe would beat him.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, he already had that previous Tahoe
Right.
trail technicality kind of locked down. And all of
Right.
a sudden you got Dom, first time ever in Tahoe probably,
Right.
just ripping this trail right in front of his eyes.
Yeah. I have a vivid memory of Dom after the race coming down to the announcer booth, holding the axe, every year, basically, we call it Race to the Rail. We usually do something with a frame rail. That's kind of the trophy that you hold.
Some
after.
sort of weapon.
Yeah, I don't know why it became like that, but it just became like that.
It was like a samurai sword and then like an energy sword from Halo for 2018, and then last year was a hatchet. So this year it'll be interesting to see what we're cooking up.
I am curious to see what that'll be like this year. But I just remember Dom coming over to the booth with the thing.
Did he kick it out of the woods?
And also his great line about that he was going to buy a van with no windows, which I still don't understand.
I don't think he's old enough to drive yet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, maybe this year, if he comes back with that winner mentality, he can secure his van.
Maybe he's coming back. I mean, so it's something that obviously a lot of changes this year.
Yeah, let's move on to this year and what's the difference between 2019 and 2020?
Oof.
Big
Well,
difference.
we'll start with this. We can't say everything,
Really can't tell you anything.
and that's why this show.
This is episode 1.
That's why this.
You got to drag it out. You got like a few weeks to do this.
That's why the show exists, because obviously 2020 is a heck of a year, and there will be some changes. Like most sport events this year, Race the Rail will look a little different. What do people know now, as of the release of this video? What are we allowed to say? We're not allowed to say where it is, and we're not allowed to say some other stuff that's secret.
Basically, what we know so far is that
What the people know.
Basically, what the people know so far is that this year's Race for Rail is invite only.
Invite only. So basically, we sent. We can say this. There will be 10 riders participating in this year's Race to Rail.
Yes.
Right.
Correct.
Correct.
They will be invited. They will be invited.
They will be invited.
They will receive an invite in a golden fender.
The golden invite and the golden fender.
Yes. They will not receive any chocolate.
No comment.
But they'll have all expense paid for, trip to the location of the race
Safely.
right?
With proper testing requirements, all
yeah.
that.
Yep.
Going through all the chutes and ladders and make
Right.
sure this is.
You know what I'm the most excited about, though?
What's that?
The wild card.
Oh, the wild card.
spots.
That's right. So that, as of the posting of this video, should have been announced yesterday.
Yep.
If we are in concurrence with the content calendar. Let's talk about the wild card. So 7 invites were sent by us based on previous race performance. Okay.
And that's races from Race the Rail and Float Life, which is another big one-wheel race.
Yep.
So top seeds and winners of those races are getting basically an automatic invite out.
Yep.
But we're still leaving 3 invites open to the community.
Because right now they're saying, what the hell?
Yep.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Onewheel guys, I'm
Where's
coming
my
for you. You
opportunity?
didn't invite me.
And I think this is a big opportunity for folks that maybe have raced in the past and felt like they didn't really get their A+ shot at the championship to really come in. And
I think it's also a time for some riders that we may have never heard of that have been proving their chops,
True.
So
every
true.
day.
So true. What if you picked up a board in this
Right.
last year and all of a sudden you're, killing it?
So how do you enter to be a wild card, and how are you going to earn a wild card spot?
Mm-hmm. Well, basically you gotta prove your worth. So the bar is incredibly high, right? We're talking, thousands and thousands of one-wheelers out there, and you're competing to be in the top 10.
Right.
So you got to realize, this is average is not going to do it, right? For this, you're going to have to show yourself head and shoulders above the rest, and also it'll be voted on by your peers. Okay, so we will not be deciding the final 3 spots. We will be nominating the top 10 applicants that we receive. People will submit their video to Instagram using the proper hashtag, which we will outline here below, or at this point you've probably seen on Instagram.
Yeah, it'd be post before.
So you'll submit your content. After the application period is done, we will take the top 10, post them online, and open it up to a vote. So these 3 people are essentially the people's choice.
Right. So Laser, what do you think we're looking for these top 10, and then the people are looking for in submissions?
wow, what a loaded question, Cade. Well, let me tell you, I think what we're looking for within our top 10 is a diverse group of riders that showcase all sorts of abilities on the one wheel.
Yep.
Not everybody has the ability to go ride epic trails and do downhill slalom courses. So I think every type of riding is going to come into play this year, even with a course and such that we may have run last year, something similar to last year. The ability that a rider needs to have is just the all-out focus and being able to understand their board and understanding how it works within the terrain that they're going to be riding on. Last year was really showing for a lot of folks because, like we said, it had evolved tenfold. We went from riding in a small dirt area with wooden ramps to a ski resort, a downhill mountain bike track. And even for the best one-wheelers, the first few runs were very, very shaking.
I think some people were sneaking onto the course to get some
Yeah,
practice
well,
laps
you know
last
what?
year.
What's sick about this year, though, is that the riders will not know where the course is until
True.
they arrive in
True.
Utah. A lot of people expected us to, continue this North Star, like California resort kind of style thing, and just really going out of our California boundaries and taking it somewhere else.
Right.
Other than Vail and North
Yeah.
Star, it's gonna be rad.
Yeah.
I guess when we're talking about what the course might look like, I've ridden trails close to what it might resemble, but I guess it's a little bit more flowy, and I think you can actually go a little bit faster than the course at North Star from last year. So you have like less like jagged rocks, and there's like more flowy turns and berms basically. So there's gonna be more opportunities for passing, more opportunities for fast racing, and honestly just more enjoyable watching experience because of like the logistics of the live stream this year as well. I think it's gonna be an epic live stream, and I think the racing is gonna be just next level compared to last year.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, for us, because we're unable to host like a multi-100 person community event this year, the live stream is obviously super important. So that's how we're going to be taking this action and getting it to all of you guys that don't get wildcard spots. So I'm excited about that.
And to bring it back to the wildcard spots, Cade, you asked me, what will the audience, what will the viewers want to see in these at-large wildcard spots? Things that I don't think are going to be important is how big their social media following is and their feed. It's purely ability and riding ability.
Speed, technicality.
Right.
Yeah.
Comfortable on all sorts of terrains like gravel, dirt, sand, like whatever it is. Just being able to be diverse in your riding and, remain calm and collected through it all.
Tricks. I mean, you can even throw in, we're not really putting a lot of parameters on this, honestly. If you want to put in a plea at the end about why you deserve this or at the beginning or whatever, that's on you,
Yeah.
This is like American Idol.
Survivor audition.
Survival audition.
Yeah, going back on it, it's not what I don't want to see all across Instagram is just your straight riding clips, with some just feet on board riding down a trail. I kind of want to know why you think you should be a top contender and why would you be able to compete against the top 7.
And the footage should back it up.
Yeah, and what we'll do is we'll put a link above for the 2019 Race for the Rail recap, and you need to be able to envision yourself going toe-to-toe with the folks that are coming down that straightaway.
Yep, totally.
Definitely.
Okay. So, Kate, can you give us a little info on what to expect on next week's Road to the Rail?
Right. So I'm sure by then we're going to have a few of these golden fenders popping up around the world. We're going to see some of the people that have been invited accepting their invites and getting a kind of a look at what the field's going to look like for the race.
Totally.
Also, we have submissions due for the wild card spot on the 12th, so mark that down. Maybe drop in the comments below who you think should be nominated and why you think they should be nominated.
Yep.
So before we sign off, guys, it wouldn't be a YouTube video without a giveaway. Jack, what should we give away this week?
Well, Ted's got something that he calls the rare pile. And the rare pile is when you find the one of one type Onewheel thing. This shirt is from the pop-up in LA, and so we probably have a few left. That's considered a rare pile at this point. So
we have a pair of test Onewheel socks that never made it to production.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a rare pile.
That's a rare pile.
Wow.
So we'll give away some rare pile Race the Rail 19 merch.
It's a mouthful.
Which is collector edition stuff right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be worth some money in a few years.
Yeah, especially if you get it signed by Dom.
If you're getting given, if you get it, if you win the giveaway, please don't put it on eBay. Collect that.
Yeah,
keep it.
collect that fat check.
Dude, what about the prize purse, Gabe? Are we doing that on this one? Or
Let's save the prize first for next episode.
All right.
Yeah, we'll talk prize purse later.
Okay.
Should I end it out?
Yeah.
It's a wrapper.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to the first episode of Road to the Rail. I want to thank my co-host for joining me, and I just want to thank you for allowing me to be in your presence today. Remember, this is the premier spot to find info for the 2020 Race for the Rail World Championships. I mean, subscribe, and click the little bell notification on the side to make sure that you're notified when we put out a video. We're going every Friday leading up to Race for the Rail. There's going to be giveaways. There's going to be secret info getting released. You don't want to miss it.
Tune in.